Hey guys, welcome back to Baking with Becca. Today I'm going to share with you my recipe for Biscoff and white chocolate double layer cheesecake. As always, the full ingredients are listed in the description box below, and if you need a full written recipe then you can head over to bakingwithbecca.co.uk where you'll find this plus so many more recipes. So you want to start by crushing your Biscoff biscuits. You can do this with a rolling pin, you can bash it in a bag, or you can put it in a food processor. Then you're going to add your melted butter into the Biscoff biscuits. Just mix this so that they're all nice and wet, and then you can pour them into your cheesecake tin. This is a no-bake cheesecake, so you can really use any kind of dish that you like to put the cheesecake in. I'm using an adjustable cheesecake round so that I can choose the size of the cheesecake I like, and it slides off so easy once you've set your cheesecake. Make sure that you push your cheesecake base down so that it's nice and flat and firm. You can do this with an offset palette knife or the back of a spoon, anything that helps you to really get into those grooves. Pop the cheesecake base into the fridge while you get started on your first layer. Add your double cream to a bowl and then whip on a high speed for around 5 minutes. You want it to reach medium to stiff peaks, so it should be quite firm and not fall off the back of a spoon. Once you get to stiff peaks, make sure that you stop whisking. If you continue, then you're going to over whisk it and it can become grainy and runny, and we can't use that. In a separate bowl, grab your cream cheese and your sifted icing sugar. Make sure you sieve the icing sugar, otherwise you're going to have lumps in your filling. Whisk this until it's nice and thick and whipped. The final result for this mixture is slightly softer than the cream, but it still holds its shape and it doesn't fall off the back of a spoon. In a separate bowl or container, you need to melt your Biscoff spread. Melt it until it's drippy but not boiling hot. You need to stir every 20 seconds or so to make sure that you're not overheating it. Next, you want to bring it all together, so add all 3 of the separate bowls into one bowl, and then fold it together using a spatula. A spatula is the best item to use here because it's not going to over whip the mixture, and you've already whipped it enough. So make sure you're just being gentle and only mixing as much as you need to. Once that's all combined, you can grab your base from the fridge. It should have hardened slightly by now, and you can just pour your cheesecake directly on top. Make sure that you're smoothing it out to all of the edges and sides and trying to keep as even a layer as possible. And just like we did with the base, we need to make sure the top is smooth, so you can use your offset palette knife or spatula or the back of a spoon. Just make sure you're trying to get as flat of a top as possible. You can also try tapping it on the counter a few times. Put a tea towel down and then tap the plate on the counter gently, and it should knock out any air bubbles. Once you're happy, it's time to melt the next lot of Biscoff spread. Again, just do it in 20-second intervals, make sure you're stirring a lot, and then pour it on top. At this stage, it's entirely up to you if you pour a pattern, or if you do swirls, or if you just leave it as a flat layer. Then you can put this in the fridge while we work on the next layer. Break your chocolate into small pieces and melt in the microwave. Do the same way you did with the Biscoff spread in 20-second intervals, but make sure you're stirring really vigorously in between. Whip your double cream on its own. We're going to use the same method we did with the first layer. Make sure that it's at stiff peaks and then set aside. In a separate bowl, whisk together the cream cheese and the sifted icing sugar. Whip this until it's thick and smooth. It can be a little bit harder to whip less ingredients, so just try and make sure that your whisk is getting to all of those grooves and corners of the filling, and you can always use your spatula, wipe down the sides, and then continue whipping, just to make sure that you're getting an even consistency. Add your whipped cream and your whipped cream cheese to a bowl and combine this slightly using a spatula. You can then follow this with the melted chocolate. Make sure that you're not over mixing it and just mix until it's completely combined. You need to be delicate with this as it can be quite temperamental. Once you're ready, grab your cheesecake from the fridge and pour this mixture on top. Again, you want to make sure you've got a nice smooth top layer and that you've reached all of the edges and sides and pushed it out evenly. You can change the topping and put whatever design you like on top. Good options are crushed Biscoff or melted Biscoff. I've gone for crushed Biscoff just around the edge, and because I want the crushed Biscoff to kind of stick to the cheesecake, I'm going to do this before I put it in the fridge to set. So I'm just crushing a couple of Biscoff biscuits and then placing them where I want them on top of the cheesecake. The cheesecake then needs to set for a minimum of 8 hours. Because it's a double layer, it is really delicate and it needs that chilling time. I hope you enjoyed this no-bake double layer Biscoff cheesecake recipe. Let me know in the comments if you try this out or if you like the look of it. And make sure that you've subscribed so you can catch my future videos. Thanks for watching.